partially true. Like, I think with Tracer, you can afford to spam a little bit. It's not too bad. Okay, guys, enough gambling. Now's a good time to start asking questions as I bring Twitch chat in. Can you talk about Tracer tracking? You were talking about it in the very beginning and your internet was paused. Just quickly, pretty please. I'm not going to go over it again. Just for you. I'm sorry, I can't do it. There will be a VOD after this is done as well. You can go back and watch that. And this will be on YouTube in about 2 days' time as well. So yeah. You might hit target if you have 30 more hit points or let it reload. It varies, like so many things in Overwatch. The times when you would melee it is when there's like other things shooting at it. Also, like you could just melee it twice. So if you know that, especially if it's a target that is likely to be able to escape and you feel like you aren't aiming on them very well, like it's a Lucio, for example, like meleeing them twice to confirm the kill isn't a bad idea, because just meleeing them twice will be faster than probably melee, reload, shoot. So just like melee, and like if you're in a 1 versus 1, like the 1 versus 1 scenario against the Mercy, you could just conceivably empty your clip and then you see that she's on like 70 hit points and then just melee her 3 times and you will win. And there's no reason why not to do that, because melee is actually a really big arc and it's actually really quite a big target environment. It's very hard to miss, so you'll be able to constantly and consistently melee her. And you feel like Tracer being able to die on her own ultimate. It's not as bad as the old Diva ult, but others are arguably more avoidable. Junkrat, Tire, Pharah, Bastion if you're not stupid. I think it's perfectly fine. Tracer has like... Tracer's died to her own ultimate when you like recall back on top of it. And that's your own stupid fault. Like, it's also just funny when it happens. I've never really felt frustrated dying to my own ultimate as Tracer, because you have recall to get away from it. You have blinks to get away from it. The explosion radius isn't very big in the first place. So the number of times where it's actually a super big effect is pretty limited. So I don't mind it. I think it's perfectly fine. When bombing a hero, Tracer's throw is tricky. I often get 0. How do I make it sticky? Good rhyme. How do I make it sticky as well? Just sounds so wrong. You make it sticky by, you lead the target slightly. So is there a good way of like demonstrating this? Because you got to remember the pulse bomb is a projectile, okay? So the projectile has a travel time. So it's traveling through the air, it's like going woo. It's not like a hit scan where, you know, you aim and then there's 0 travel time. Like you fire a projectile and it just draws a line from point A to point B, and if the target isn't in that line, then you miss. It's a projectile, so if the target moves through that line for a certain period of time, then it will pick up the bomb. So by leading the target effectively backs into the bomb while it's still in mid-flight, and will catch the bomb effectively. So lead the target. Don't be afraid to put bombs at people's feet if you don't think it's a good idea. If you see a big cluster of people, either throw it from a safe distance into the cluster or just drop it at your feet in the middle of the cluster as well. Works very, very well. So it's confusing like crazy. You'll be surprised. Also, just like finding places to do it. So it's similar to like Junkrat spam. People in choke points, very easy to land bombs on. People in tight areas, tight and close spaces, very easy to land bombs on. Just find the opportunities. Like if you're trying to bomb someone in a big open space, it's going to be way harder than trying to bomb someone in a tight little environment. What tier is Tracer on? I think Tracer in recent competitive Overwatch is still fairly high tier. She's always been pretty high tier. The thing with Tracer is that she kind of dropped out of favor in tank meta because she doesn't kill everything in tank meta. Like she can build up ults and deal quite a lot of damage, so a lot of confusion, but against like a really coordinated team, she doesn't do enough damage to really work in tank meta. The enemy team will just have a Soldier 76 and should just win straight up fights. So she didn't really work in that meta, but right now she's definitely making a big comeback because Dive Comp is coming back in. She's very good at that. Zarya is coming back in. She's amazing when working with Zarya because you should always have a Pulse Bomb by the time Zarya has Barrier, by the time Zarya has Graviton, and Pulse Bomb is like... it's very easy as a Tracer to decide, okay, instead of focusing on killing people, I'm going to focus on building up my Pulse Bomb. So Zarya's on like 90%. You can change your mentality and go, okay, I need a Pulse Bomb ready. And then you just blink into the back line and then you just shoot the shit out of Roadhog for about 2 seconds. And then you come back and say, yeah, Pulse Bomb's ready. Like you can make those very conscious decisions of when you want to build up your ultimate and when you want to just try and get rid of targets. Is there a tier list in Overwatch? I recommend following the Twitter account Captain Planet OW. I'll link it after the show. Actually, I'll send a tweet to him. So if you're following me on Twitter at OneAmongstMany or at @1_amongstmany, I'll tweet a link to him because he does really good stuff there. Hey, brother Thaddeus, 3 months, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Best Tracer maps, game modes. She's very good at King of the Hill. Very, very good at King of the Hill. She's okay. She's not that great, honestly, on King's Row. Go figure, because she let Mondata die there. Just because there's a lot of high ground to bounce around on King's Row, like a lot of the flanking routes and stuff require going on high ground, so I'd say Genji rates better there. She's very good on... I'd definitely say like King of the Hill is where she shines the most. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Like, she's just very good when you can flank, when there's not many high ground paths, and when you can afford to flank around a lot, when you're playing with a Zarya especially. How new Diva defense matrix affect Tracer ult? It just means you have to be really careful when dropping bombs at your feet. You won't be able to drop bombs at your feet anymore, basically. Part of the reason why people started doing that is because people started playing Diva more. It's the same thing as, like, you're minimizing travel time with a projectile, so it's the same thing that... Same reason why people were doing it with Zarya, where you run in, just drop it at your feet. You won't be able to get away with that anymore. You just got to be even more careful around divas. Like, make sure divas demech, make sure divas facing the wrong direction, all that kind of stuff. You have to be a bit more careful. If you're playing on a 4K screen, you either want to double, I don't want to... Oh god, I've got another one. Ah!
I am a scrub. So is my team. What kind of flavor is Tracer ice cream?
Lovely. Good job, bot. And good job sneaking your question in. I'll answer this question first because it's actually relatively simple, which is that I have no idea how 4K resolution affects mouse sensitivity. I don't have a clue. I'd Google it. Honestly, I can't help you there. Sorry, I don't play Overwatch at 4K anyway. I try and play it you should be trying to play Overwatch at 144 FPS. If you don't have a 144 Hz monitor but have a 4K one, then okay, then play it at 4K. Enjoy the lovely resolution and figure out if you do need to double the DPI or not. Okay, let's answer the question. I am a scrub, so is my team. What kind of flavor is Tracer ice cream? Should be what's a very English kind of ice cream flavor? I don't know. Is there a lesbian ice cream flavor? What a question to ask. What a question to ask. It should be something like, again, I'd say like... Oh, she'd be like a strawberry cream ripple. Or like a raspberry ripple. A very, very sweet raspberry ripple. Because she's a very sweet girl. And like strawberry and cream is a very British thing. So that's what I would go for. And if you don't know what a ripple ice cream is, it's like a strawberry or raspberry sauce mixed into with like vanilla. It's very nice. It's very nice. So I'd say that's what Tracer is. When to swap off Tracer. So if you are winning a game, but you're still not getting a lot of kills as Tracer, but you're like constantly in the backline, they're constantly like chasing you around the map, stay on Tracer because you're winning, it's working, but be very aware of like, if you're playing Tracer and you're not getting any kills and you are losing, that's a sign you probably want to get off Tracer. Like, do not mistake attention for victory, because they could be paying attention to you, but then you are not actually dealing much damage, or you are not actually pulling meaningful attention away to where their front line is still winning. So maybe your front line needs to be shored up, their back line is just handling you so well that they don't give a shit. The healers are focusing properly, managing their attention properly, and as such you aren't actually having that big of an impact. Tracer can be very, very difficult to judge because it feels like you got a huge amount of attention on you, but there are times, for example, when you would desync, we'll do what I call a desync from the team, where you're running in, you're pulling off attention, but your team's still trying to get into position. And so all the attention you're drawing, it's just like them turning around, and they can turn around and shoot at you and kill you. And then they can just turn back and fight the rest of the team. So yeah. So I'd say just when you are not getting kills, when you have nothing to combo with as well, I'd say it's a very important time. So you got no Zarya, for example, there's no Earth Shatter, your pulse bombs just can't really land on anything. If they're running Pharmacy as well, it's like generally a good time. So if they're running like Pharmacy, Soldier 76, and some tanks, probably not a good time to play Tracer. Because what are you fighting? Nothing really. You need stuff to deal with the Pharmacy and 76 better. Tracer isn't that. So yeah, just like keep an eye out for that kind of thing. Just try and keep a very conscious mind about how effective you are actually being, how many kills you are actually getting. If you're winning but not getting kills, that's a sign that maybe you should just stay on it. But when you start losing, that's probably a good sign that you should probably swap off, because the enemy team is just dealing with you better. Bloom on or off? I personally have it off. As Tracer, it doesn't matter so much. Soldier, I'd say, is like one of the few times when you might want to have it on just to get used to how the spray pattern works. With Tracer, the bloom happens so fast that I don't find it useful. I just have a normal crosshair. I use short crosshair. Yeah, that's it. It could be a personal thing as well. Like, crosshairs are such a personal thing. In trying to build up your aim, is it more useful to just play the game or do the drill like Anna's make the fastest progress? I'd say a mix of both. Like and especially like I do Anna drills when I'm like busy with something else, or when I can't really focus on playing the game. Is when I'll do Anna drills. So like if I'm listening to something on YouTube, I'll be doing Anna drills at the same time, and just like using or if I only have like 20 minutes, I could do 20 minutes of Anna drills and do that instead of playing quick play where I'm fighting people. Quick play though is a good place to practice Tracer, because Tracer isn't really like a team emphasis hero. A lot of the things you can, practice on Tracer, like aim, pulse bombs, positioning, surviving, 1v1 duels, you can do in quick play. So you can actually go into a quick play and practice quite a lot there and get still quite a lot out of it. But there's still going to be never anything better than playing competitive Overwatch and then learning from there. There's no substitute for actually playing the game a lot and being very self-analytical while doing it. That's definitely the best way to do it. And then maybe you can pull off, after you played a bunch, watch one or two of them back if you're recording, like use Shadowplay, use OBS, use whatever AMD use, record your games, watch it back, and then you'll see that why did I take that engagement? Why am I fighting Soldier 76? That's so stupid. I could be fighting something else right now. And you'll realize very quickly, oh, I'm not making these decisions in the heat of the moment. Maybe I need to think about that a little bit more. When is a good time to switch to Tracer? I.e., who does she excel against? She excels when the backline isn't that safe. She excels against Zenyatta. It's always a little bit of a risk, but generally Tracer will win the Zenyatta fight. If they have a team that likes to clump together a lot, and you have a Zarya, it's fucking money, easy money. If they're running like a 2-tank lineup and have a Roadhog, it's not a bad idea as well. If they're running triple tank, then it's a bit harder. And I'd say you might want to avoid Tracer there. Basically, Tracer is good if you can exploit the fact that their team isn't very cohesive and can't deal with you very well. You'll notice, like, you've probably played on the team when a Tracer feels really strong. When the supports are going, why is no one helping me deal with this Tracer? Why is no one helping? Why is no one protecting us? And that's because your team just doesn't have cohesion. No one's like splitting off to deal with the Tracer appropriately, and as such, you're getting a huge amount of value. Swapping onto Tracer is always a difficult thing, though, but if you notice that, they have some squishies in the backline, they're not a very durable team, then you can afford to bring out the Tracer. So 2-2-2 lineups, I say, are very good. If you have a dive comp to work with, so if you see your team, load in, and they pick Winston, Genji, Lucio, Zenyatta, and then you just go, okay, I'm going to pick Tracer. Because you have, the makings of an amazing dive comp, and you can just go dive on the backline and kill everything. I once got slept on my bomb with Tracer, it didn't stick anyone, it was funny as hell, though. Yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds like the Ana did really well. You read your rhyme? Of course I read your rhyme. Got to go adult by Twitch and YouTube. Oh, feels bad, man. AlphaCast hosted me? Did he? Oh! Thank you, Alpha. Salut, bonjour. Bonjour, friends. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I missed it. Oh. I need to, get out a notification for that. I love Alpha. All love to Alpha in the world. And his fans. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. There's Brother Thaddeus. It might also be because I'm scrolling down slowly so I don't see stuff. Do you accept 21:9 footage for coaching? Is there 21? Sure. I have no idea how that will work on YouTube, but I can give it a look. Sure. I think 21:9 is just stretched anyway, I think, in Overwatch. You don't actually get a visible advantage. Loving these rhymes today? Yeah, they're pretty good, not gonna lie. Yeah, 4K does not affect mouse sensitivity, apparently. There's your answer. Hey man, love your videos. Ginger sent me. What's your opinion on aim practicing with Ana headshots? I like the Ana drills. I think, I've heard people use Osu a lot, and personally I prefer the Ana drills because it just gets you used to the Overwatch engine as well, how it works. Thanks for the coaching. Main 3. So yeah, I mostly rely on the Ana drills. And then just playing quick play and stuff and working on it there. Really focusing on my aim. Thanks for the coaching. Main 3 things I got from it are that chokes can be controlled instead of avoided with the ultimate, to work on aiming. Yep. It's just one of those things. To act more decisively once I made a decision. Yep. Tracer, you dance around the fight. The thing is, you're doing a good job generally of avoiding the fight and dancing around the outsides of the fight. Because if you remember the last time we did coaching the many, we had someone who blinking right into the middle of the fight and then he'd just die. You were good at not doing that. You were good at sort of blinking all around it, which is good where you want to be. Alright, OC is apparently very good though. I've heard a lot of good about OC. I haven't used it myself though. Tracer versus Genji for dive comp? Both. Both work very well. You can run 3 DPS as well. You can run Tracer, Genji, Pharah, for example. A lot of pro teams run that. A lot of pro teams also run Genji, Tracer, Widowmaker. Running both is really good because you just both dive on the same target. Tracer is more reliable DPS, so Tracer will deal very consistent damage usually. And then Genji is just a lot better at finishing and has a better ultimate. Blink trick. If you have 2 blink and the enemy is in front of you, blink once forward and once back, with the enemy will look away. I'd actually say avoid doing that. That's being overly fancy because blinks, if you think about blinks as health, because every time you blink you're usually dodging some form of damage, so blinks are effectively health, and by blinking twice you've effectively used 2 health things, 2 chunks of health, instead of just using 1. So you could generally just blink 180, shoot, and then when they turn to face you, then you just blink and start shooting again, rather than like trying to do something fancy where you blink and then you just blink back to where they were, and then they might turn back and just shoot you. I'd be very careful. No, okay, playing with 4K TV. Ooh. You're going to make coaching videos in this resolution. Okay. What are Ana drills? If you don't know, it's an easy thing to do. It'll be even easier to make up drills as well when the PTR changes come when the server browser comes in. Because what Ana drills are is you set bots. You get 6 Ana bots, 5 Ana bots on your team if you want as well. Doesn't matter. Set the game to headshot only. Anas can't headshot, so basically they will never be able to kill you. And then you practice by shooting them in the head. And because they move around like sporadically and randomly, it's a lot better than the training area, and so it lets you sort of develop skills naturally. It's very good for Widowmaker training. Like I do a lot with Widowmaker. I get about 30% headshot accuracy now on that, which feels really nice. And yeah, it's a good way of warming up. It's a good way of playing a little bit. Otherwise, I think that is about it. I think I've scrolled all the way down. Yes, I have. So yeah, that will do us for coaching the many. It's going for about an hour and a half as well, so it times out pretty well. So thank you, Xtosos, for sending this in. Hopefully it was useful. Hopefully it was useful for all of you guys as well. It's part of why I do it publicly, so it should be good for everyone. And thank you for watching to the end. If you want to send stuff in, make sure... Excellent question, Chappie. Excellent question. Look here. If you want to get your footage reviewed on Coaching the Many, send it into oamreviews@gmail.com. Put in the title, the hero name, put in the rank the game is played at, put in if you are a Twitch subscriber or not. The reason why is that Twitch subs just get a little bit more favored. So if I'm deciding between like 2 clips, one is a Twitch sub, one is not, then I'll, pick the Twitch subscriber just as my way of giving back, and it also like helps people incentivize supporting the channel, helps sort of pay for the series as well, pay for the coaching, pay for my time, all that kind of stuff. So it's a nice little incentive for me and incentive for them. And yeah, make sure it's a recording. Make sure to include a link of the recording in the email. I sometimes get like, it always makes me laugh. I get sent clips and then like I'll get sent like someone will send in an email and say like, yeah, I've included a link of me playing Reinhardt on this game mode or whatever, and then there'll be a reply to their own email and it's like, oh, and the link's in this one. Yeah, so at least they remember doing it, which is always good. Don't ask me questions on that email account. I don't answer them. I'm lazy. So yeah, if you have footage, just like people ask me this all the time of like, oh, I've got footage of this at this rank at this level, do you do that? Just send it in. Just send it. If you are if you are fucking Linkser and you're sat there watching this for some reason going, I should send in some Widowmaker footage. He's like one of the best Widows in the world. I might still do it on Coaching the Many, but do it in a different way of doing it, like a VOD review of like, this is how he plays Widowmaker, this is what makes it good, this didn't seem to be working, so maybe there can be changes made there, and we can draw information out of that. I've done Coaching the Many on high Masters level players, I've done it on Grandmaster level players, and in those cases what we generally do is we do look for mistakes and flaws, but we also look at what's going right for them, how they're making the most out of those heroes. So don't be afraid to send footage in if it is high level play. It could still get used if it's good footage. If you're thinking about what heroes should I send in specifically, the best thing to do is check the playlist on YouTube for Coaching the Many and see what heroes have been done recently, because odds are I'm not going to do a Tracer for a little while, just because we just did Tracer now, so I'm not going to do Tracer like next week. I'm probably going to be doing some other heroes. So someone asked earlier, like, have you ever done a Reaper one? I actually have never done a pure Reaper Coaching the Many. Reaper's been included in 1 or 2 of them, but it's usually a very situational pick. So if you've got some Reaper footage lying around, especially with the new patch coming up, and you play some Reaper games, then maybe you can have a look at it. It's all that kind of thing. Watch me get like a million bits of Reaper footage. I'll also say, like, if you are determined to get on Coaching the Many as well, be careful about sending Ana footage in, because I get mostly Ana footage sent in, which is fair enough, because I play a lot of Ana. So yeah. Otherwise, thank you for watching to the end. Feel free to come and join us on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/ESL_OneAmongstMany, 10 p.m. GMT, Friday and Saturday for Coaching the Many. It's a better show on YouTube better show on Twitch than it is on YouTube. So definitely come by and watch us there. Otherwise, thanks for watching to the end. Toodles. Boom. That was a